Look, I get that not everyone is ready to think about the next console. Some of you are still figuring out if that $699 PS5 Pro price tag was worth it. And to that one comment about how it's driving people to PC gaming, I feel your frustration. Console upgrades are a tricky space, especially when you factor in needing the right TV or monitor to fully appreciate them. But there are also fans out there who love to speculate about what's next, and that's who I'm speaking to. Here's the thing, talking about the PS6 doesn't mean we're forgetting the PS5 Pro or Slim. It's about looking ahead and seeing where the industry's going. Plus, knowing about upcoming tech can help you decide if you want to invest now or hold out for the next big thing. So let's not make this a battle between PS5 versus PS6 talk. It's all part of the gaming ecosystem, and whether we like it or not, leaks will keep coming. And yes, if Sony decides to announce a PlayStation laptop, you better believe I'll be here talking about it too. First off, Sony's Naomi Matsuoka let slip that the PS5 is entering the latter stage of its life cycle. Translation: the PS5 is officially a wise elder, which means the young PS6 prodigy is lurking somewhere in Sony's top secret labs. No direct confirmation yet, but come on, we all know how this works. When one console starts saying, "Back in my day," another is being born. The 2027/2028 window. Let's do some console math. Here's the timeline T. Sony likes its console cycles like we like our favorite games. Around 7 years long. PS3, 7 years before PS4. PS4, 7 before PS5. If history repeats, the PS6 could show up in 2027, maybe 2028 if Sony decides to take a breather. Plus, Microsoft's juicy court docs from the Activision Blizzard drama hinted that PlayStation was planning its next console after 2027. Coincidence? Probably not. Entering the speculation station, what could the PS6 bring to the table? So the PS6 won't be fully digital? Good, because honestly, a diskless-only future is a terrible idea, and even Sony knows it. Sean Layden, former CEO of PlayStation Worldwide Studios, just made it clear. Sony can't afford to go all digital like Xbox wants to. Why? Because PlayStation dominates in 170+ countries, not just the US, Canada, and a few others, where high-speed internet is everywhere. A huge chunk of their player base simply can't rely on digital downloads alone. And then, there's military bases where service members rely on physical discs because they don't always have stable internet. Athletes and travelers, they take their consoles on the go, staying in places where downloading a 100GB+ game isn't just annoying, it's impossible. Sony knows that going fully digital right now would be a massive mistake. And even with how aggressively they push digital sales, they aren't dumb enough to alienate a huge part of their player base. Now, onto the PS6 hardware itself. AMD is still making the chips. No surprise there, but apparently Intel tried to get in on the action and failed. The SoC system-on-chip design is done and in pre-silicon validation, meaning they're already deep into development. There are 2 SoCs in the works. One is supposedly more affordable and might power a less powerful variant, potentially a handheld. Could this mean a PlayStation 6 and a PlayStation 6 Lite? Maybe even a PS6 hybrid console? That's where things get interesting. The fact that Sony is already working on different versions of the PS6 suggests they want multiple options at launch, possibly a premium model for high-end performance and a more affordable option for casual players or handheld users. Will it cost an arm, a leg, and your firstborn? Here's where the wallet starts sweating. The PS5 Pro, a mid-gen upgrade, is already pushing $700. If Sony thinks we'll fork out that kind of cash for a slightly upgraded PS5, what does that say about the PS6's price tag? Predictions point to around $600 at launch, but with inflation and tech upgrades, don't be surprised if it nudges higher. Why should you care? Because the PS6 represents more than just shiny new tech. It's about dreaming big, insane graphics, immersive gameplay, and next-level features that make us fall in love with gaming all over again. Plus, if Sony nails backward compatibility, you'll be able to enjoy your PS5 favorites while diving into the latest AAA blockbusters. That's a win-win, right? What's next? Right now, it's all rumors and speculation, so don't go setting aside your pennies just yet. But as we get closer to 2027, you can bet the leaks will keep pouring in. Until then, let's enjoy the PS5 era and see how the PS5 Pro fares in its test-the-waters pricing experiment. So, what do you think? Will the PS6 blow us away, or just be another step forward? Are you ready for the console wars to heat up again? Let's chat. Former PlayStation Studios boss Shuhei Yoshida has suggested he wasn't overly impressed with the Switch 2 reveal and hopes Nintendo Nintendo has a few more tricks up its sleeve. In an interview with MinMax, Yoshida shared his reaction to Nintendo's long-awaited announcement of the Switch 2, which happened a couple of weeks ago, after many months of rumors and leaks. Nintendo fully revealed the new console, as well as what looks like a brand new Mario Kart game, but didn't show anything that makes it particularly unique from the original Switch. "I thought the Switch 2 announcement could have been a larger reveal," Yoshida said. "It turned out to be kind of a reveal, or just confirmation of, yeah, this is Switch 2 and this is Switch 2. I was surprised there were not many surprises. The only surprise to me was that mice thing that they showed. With a Switch 2 focused direct coming on April 2nd, Nintendo definitely still has time to hit us with that classic Nintendo charm. I'm personally really hoping the new console is more than just a bigger, more powerful Switch, and it sounds like Yoshida feels the same." Xbox could successfully follow in Sega's footsteps, according to former Sony boss Sean Layden. Microsoft's strategy to expand its first-party library across platforms has become clearer than ever. This was reinforced when the Xbox-exclusive Forza Horizon 5 was announced for Sony's PS5 platform. In a recent interview on the Kiwi Talks podcast, which was pointed out on Reset Era, Layden spoke on Xbox's new multi-platform direction. He praised the move, saying there is historical precedence for this approach, and even drew comparisons to Sega's evolution into a third-party software company after the Dreamcast. Multi-platform, particularly in a world where the cost of development is increasing so dramatically multi-platform, means widening your addressable market, Layden said, just getting more people a chance to see it. So I certainly can understand and appreciate and welcome that ability to have Xbox games appearing on other platforms. Layden also spoke about the marketing challenges this shift might present. What does that do to their brand? I think, yeah, it makes the conversation harder to create. The FOMO, he said. How do you create the FOMO? Trying to do that by bringing everyone to your platform, saying, if you're not here, you're missing out. But if it's available on all platforms, that's one of your marketing tactics you can't use. You can't say it's only available here if it's available everywhere. So it's a balancing act. Layden pointed to Sega's history as an example of this transformation, saying, "We've seen it before. I mean, I was in the business when Sega brought their Dreamcast titles to PlayStation 2. And in time, Sega became a software-only company and has been a great transformation in that respect. Let's be honest, they're doing great. So it does have historical precedence. It's an interesting comparison, especially as Xbox continues leaning into services like Game Pass and multi-platform releases. What do you think? Would Xbox thrive by going fully multi-platform, or do you think they should hold on to their exclusives?" All right, let's talk GTA 6 because the latest leaks and details are pretty mind-blowing. Rockstar's next game is shaping up to be a massive leap forward in terms of technology, but as always, it's stirring up plenty of questions too. Here's what we know so far, what's still a mystery, and why everyone's losing their minds over this. So, thanks to a now-edited LinkedIn post from Ryan Woods, a principal engine programmer at Rockstar, we know that GTA 6 is going to feature ray-traced global illumination. For context, this is the kind of tech that makes lighting in games insanely realistic. Think sunlight bouncing off surfaces, or the glow of neon lights reflecting in puddles on the street. Games like Alan Wake 2 and Metro Exodus Enhanced Edition have already used RTGI. Woods, who's got a solid track record from working on Marvel's Spider-Man and Ratchet & Clank, also hinted that GTA 6 will push the limits of Rockstar's Rage engine. That's a big deal, because Rage has always been the backbone of Rockstar's games, and hearing it's being pushed to new heights means we're probably looking at some of the most cutting-edge visuals in gaming yet. Now here's where things get interesting and a bit confusing. The LinkedIn post also mentioned procedural generation, which has people speculating all over the place. Some think it's just a development tool to make building this massive world easier, while others are hoping it's something bigger, like runtime procedural generation during gameplay. What could that mean for us as players? Well, rumors have been flying that GTA 6 will let you break into any building or explore an absurdly detailed city. Procedural generation could make that feasible without bloating the game's file size to ridiculous levels. Imagine being able to enter any random house, and instead of Rockstar hand designing every single one, procedural generation handles the interiors dynamically. If that's true, it would be a game changer. Another nugget from that LinkedIn leak. GTA 6 is definitely coming to PC. Not a shocker, but it's nice to have semi-official confirmation. The bad news? If Rockstar sticks to its usual playbook, PC players might have to wait 9 to 15 months after the console launch. That's not ideal, but hey, at least it's coming. The million-dollar question, where's that second trailer? Yeah, this rumor has been making the rounds, and if it's true, it could be a huge deal for Sony. The idea is that Sony has a marketing deal with Rockstar, and that the PS5 Pro will be the only console capable of running GTA 6 at 60 FPS. That would make the PS5 Pro the go-to console for the best GTA GTA 6 experience. And if the rumored $700 price tag is accurate, it would mean Sony is really betting on this being a premium upgrade. Now here's the thing. Rockstar has reportedly said that GTA 6 runs fine on the Xbox Series S. That tells us the game is highly scalable, which means there's potential for it to run at different performance levels on different hardware. And with Sony's PSSR technology constantly improving, it's possible they figured out a way to make 60 FPS work on the PS5 Pro without needing major CPU upgrades. Speaking of CPU, Digital Foundry actually asked Mark Cerny why the PS5 Pro didn't get a CPU upgrade. His answer? Developers told Sony they wanted more GPU power, not CPU power. So instead of splitting resources, they focused on where it would make the biggest impact: graphical performance. If all this is true, then Sony might be setting up the PS5 Pro as the definitive GTA 6 console. But what do you think? Do you believe the rumor, or do you think Rockstar will eventually offer 60 FPS across all platforms? If you want to be ahead of all the gaming leaks and news, specifically PlayStation news, time for you to subscribe. And as always, a like on the video is very much appreciated.